the first chapter is living world. First we'll see what is the thing and what is the content of the chapter, what we are going to learn. What we'll study in this chapter? Okay. So the content of the chapter, this is something that we are going to study in this chapter, okay? So we'll be starting with the first one, that is what is living. When we talk about living, whenever we talk about living, we have an idea to think about non-living things also. What we do is we always compare the living with the non-living, and then we pick out certain characteristics that define a living organism, right? So what are the specific characteristics of living? This is something that we are going to do over here. Second is a word called as biodiversity. Biodiversity, if you remember in your class 12 chapter, class 12 portion, you have one complete chapter, right? So, just the basic point. What is biodiversity? Just definition to Arjuna class 12 or I think you remember certain type of pie charts, right? Anybody some pie chart asile, no? 12 students if you are talking about insects, right? If you are talking about animals, animals are put to category basis. If you are talking about plants, put to category. So this is something that we are going to cover here. Next is the three words: classification, taxonomy, and systematics. What is the meaning, etc., etc. Apart from that, the next point is nomenclature. As a name suggests, what is nomenclature? Giving a name to an organism is called as nomenclature. And the most common type of nomenclature that we have heard is something called as binomial nomenclature. Okay. Next is taxonomic categories. Taxonomic categories or taxonomic hierarchy, right? That lowest category species, species over genus. We had this sequence. Right? So kingdom species arranging in this way is called as taxonomic hierarchy. Categories. So we'll be discussing that. Next is to go for a taxonomical study or to go for a classification or to know the organism properly. What will you do? At an organism, all of a sudden you discover and you want to know about it. So you have to go for a research, right? Either you will consult certain books or you will study the area in which it is found, etc., etc. So taxonomical study, but at an organism, and this help is called as the aids. I think we understand the meaning of aids, no? So kihor help, no? If it is a plant, you want to know about the plant, so obviously you go to the area where the botanical garden is situated. At a botanical garden or key varieties of plants, and the plants are there. Together with the plants, you have the specific type of classification. Tar naam ki family kuntu ta sile, kuntu kingdom or belong kore, genus kuntu, etc., etc. So all the information about that specific plant called botanical gardener. So that would be a help for our study, and so it is considered as a taxonomical aid, right? Similarly, in case of animals, zoos, right? Museum, we understand what a museum is. Museum of key thake, living and non-living, obviously non-living, right? Living ko thake, living of all botanical garden aru zoo thake. Next is something called as herbaria. Herbaria who second? A sheet of paper where you preserve the dry plants and is called as herbaria. And finally, we can consult or we can refer to certain types of books. Kiba eta information lage jikunu eta organism or upor ami ki koribo paru kisman books ami consult koribo paru. The books in the form of flora, manual, monograph, catalog, that is nothing but books. But what you have to study is ekhon kitab of flora buli ketia kom, ekhon kitab of monograph ketia buli kom, right? All these four are nothing but books itself. কিন্তু সব বুকসকে একেইটো নহয় ন, কিবা কিবি কন্টেন্টস লৈ পেলাই এখন কিতাপক আমি ফ্লোরা বুলি কম আৰু এখন কিতাপক আমি মনোগ্ৰাফ ক'ব পাৰো বা কেটালগ ক'ব পাৰো. So this is the content that we are going to study. So we start with the first one. Since we have to talk about what is living, we come across a word called as life. No? Life কি বস্তু? Life কি হয়? Life for a life. Our life is like our life or life. So just a definition. Obviously, from Henry's point of view, definition to ketia nahe, what is life to ketia nahe, from both point of view, and just for the sake of knowing what is life is nothing but a complex organization of molecules and ions. Iman ke bhi most of lokori well. What is life? A life is a mixture of certain type of reactions that occurs within the body of an organism. Right? Hey, organism to some reactions hoy, kenuka dhoroner reactions, chemical reactions. Our chemical reactions of karone amar ki hoise, we keep on living. Chemical reactions like maybe we are talking about breathing, right? In case of human beings, we are talking about breathing. We might be talking about digestion, etc., etc. In case of plants, we could be talking about cellular respiration. We could be talking about photosynthesis, etc., etc. Right? Next is. We have started with life, we have started with the word called as biology. Biology ko alog lage to life er pora arambho hoy, right? So biology word pore arambho koriso, dujon scientist or naam janibo lage, the father of biology, right? I think yeah, you have heard someone called as Aristotle, no? So dujon scientists ami yate just Aristotle or Theophrastus. Actually, scientists and their contributions, around 8 of the scientists, I mean second chapter that is biological classification or details of podium, right? Tato ako Aristotle la kotha podium, ako Theophrastus la kotha podium. But as of now, since we are talking about biology, Aristotle ki hobo, mane ki jano? Father of biology, father of geology, no? Theophrastus, father of botany. Just keep watching. Next is when we are going to write a note, no? Notes we have to write a lot. But what are the points that we are going to study? You are not going to study each and every word that is written. So as you keep on writing the notes, you will see that certain points has been marked, right? So mark for points from entrance point of view, right? So from entrance point of view, question ke father of biology could, right? Think father of botany could, Historia Plantarum could, right? Next is another word that is important is I have marked the word Greek. No question I say. Aristotle and Theophrastus actually keyword. Are they scientists? No, they are not scientists. They are scholars. Next is scholars of nationality for today. Greek, the French, the British, etc. So this word is also important, right? So if you know this introduction part. Next is life we understand living non-living So living and non-living, when we are talking about living and non-living, we know there are many points of differences between the living and non-living. কিছুমান organisms আমি কিছুমান বস্তুক আমি living কওঁ, কিছুমান বস্তুক আমি non-living কওঁ. Living কেতিয়া ক'বা, non-living কেতিয়া ক'বা, differences to বহুত বেছি আছে. কিন্তু do you know about certain types of similarities between the living and the non-living? Similarities থাকিব হয় না, অকল যে differences থাকিব তেনেকুৱা নহয়. কিছুমান বস্তু living এ হওক বা non-living এ হওক, it is the same, right? So we will be talking about just 2 points. However, not very important from examination point of view. In tothapi ami janibo lagibo so living or non-living or similarity ki difference to both ase. Right? Similarity first, they are made up of the same compound CHON. Soborda carbon thake, soborda hydrogen thake, right? So basic elements bila kahador eke. Second point is they are subjected to the same set of natural rules. For example, if we are talking about gravitation, living body around gravity tanibo, not living body around gravity tanibo. Yes or no? Radiations also, magnetism also. So there are certain points of similarities and certain points of differences. However, differences kita hai ami besi bhage pori. Similarities of what question aha nai janle. Next is we have to discuss certain characteristics of living, right? Living বুলি ক'লে এটা organism or কিছুমান characteristics থাকিব তেতিয়াহে তাহাঁতক আমি কি বুলি কম living বুলি কম, right? So characteristics of living, before going into this content, যিহেতু bio পঢ়ি আছো, bio first beginning of biology কি হয় cell, no? Right? When we talk about a cell, we understand a plant cell and an animal cell also. We have heard something called as a living cell and a dead cell. Yes or no? Cells of living niki no কিছুমান cells to dead hoy. So what is that basic point that identifies whether the cell is living or dead? Yeah, বুঝি পাইছা না এটা cell dead বুলি কি কোৱা when there is no protoplasm, right? So therefore we have to study a particular sentence saying that protoplasm is a physical basis of life. যদি এটা সেলৰ protoplasm আছে তেতিয়াহে তাক আমি কি বুলি কওঁ living বুলি কওঁ. যদি protoplasm নাই তেতিয়াহ'লে dead cell. Give me one example of a dead cell. Fiber, core, এইবিলাক বা stem kind tissues no এইবিলাক কি হয় dead cells হয়. So dead বুলি যেতিয়া কম cells বিলাক জন্মৰ পৰা কৰি যোৱা নাই ন জন্মটো living হৈ আছিলে পিছতহে gradually it turned into a dead cell. How did it turn into a dead cell? The amount of protoplasm. Now what is protoplasm? As of now, the inside content within the boundary is called as protoplasm. Now, inside of a cell, that we call protoplasm. So protoplasm of key was cell to deposit where waste products. As a result, protoplasm amount to komi. That cell was considered as a dead cell. So the basic thing that identifies a dead cell and a living cell is the presence of protoplasm. That's a point here. So before going to the characteristics, have a particular statement for Rodrigo. There was a scientist called as Huxley. scientist, right? Now when we are talking about the characteristics of living, when we talk about characteristics of living, there can be many characters. For example, living organisms বিলাকৰ কি কি থাকে? So whenever we talk about a living organisms বিলাকৰ we see certain types of characteristics. What are the type of characteristics that we see? ইমান ধৰণৰ characteristics বিলাক আমি ক'ত দেখা পাওঁ? Living organisms ত দেখা পাওঁ, right? Definite shape and size, we'll come to this. So two types of characteristics we have written. When we talk about characteristics, there can be many types of characteristics. We have talked about around 12 of them, right? You know, out of this 12, NCERT data is about faster, so we will be studying only about 5. Is the point here? So NCERT data is that does not mean the living organism are upon data characteristics. Yar बहुत characteristics are right? Into details on those 5 that has been present in your NCERT book, right? Coming to this part, no, definite shape and size. Okay, we'll come to that later. First is living organisms bilakor. What we see is something called as organization. Organization, what we are talking over here is, I think you have heard the words called as cells, cells into tissues, tissues into organs, organs bilak log lagi pele ki form kore, organ system. Agute organ system or as a whole ki form kore the organism. So enukwa dhoroner specific organization jodi ki prothomote starting point ki life or living beings or starting point ki cells, no, cells bilak bahut bor cells associate hote group 2 ki boli call tissues bilak or group 2 will form a tissue system. So enukwa dhoroner specific organization, I mean living or pam the non living or pam is a characteristic of only living organisms, right? Next is growth and development. We'll be discussing later, it's present day. Reproduction also we'll be discussing, metabolism also we'll be discussing. Coming to the word called as homeostasis. Homeostasis is something that is seen only in case of living. What is homeostasis? Maintaining a balance is called as homeostasis. For example, the common example that we talk about, as human beings, so especially if you talk about the mammals, we have a specific temperature, body temperature is specific as we don't change according to the environment. বহুত বেছি বলে ঠান্ডা হৈ গৈছে আমি ঠান্ডা হৈ যাম নেকি নহয় ন বহুত বেছি এনভায়রনমেন্টটো গৰম হৈ গৈছে আমি গৰম হৈ যাম নেকি নহয় so this maintaining a balance is called as homeostasis, which is particularly seen in case of living organisms. Details nalage, maintaining a balance is called as homeostasis. Homeostasis is the characteristic of living organisms. So point here. Okay, next is consciousness. Consciousness so we are going, right? Next is healing and repair. I think this is a word that we understand. Healing and repair মানে কি কিবা কিবি কাট চাট হলে নিজে নিজে অর্গানিজমটো হিল কৰে নকৰে suppose you develop a cut all of a sudden কি হৈ যাব কেদিনমানৰ পিছত আকৌ এই কাট মানটো ভাল হৈ যাব ভাল হৈ যোৱা মানে ৰিপেয়াৰ আৰু হিলিং হ'লে নাই so এই বস্তুটো কো দেখা পাব only in case of living organisms, right? Next is excretion. We understand excretion is something that's seen only in living. What about adaptation? Adaptation মানে যিকোনো এটা অর্গানিজম কিবা এটা পার্টিকুলার হ্যাবিটেটত থাকে right সেই পার্টিকুলার হ্যাবিটেটত যে থাকে বেলেগ এটাত যে কিয় না থাকে কারণ সেই পার্টিকুলার হ্যাবিটেটটো তাত এডজাস্ট কৰিব পাৰিছে right heard something called as in terms of plants I mean different types of plants শুনিছো for example we have heard something called as hydrophytes. Right? We have heard something called as xerophytes, no? Generally, plants funny because they by aquatic medium or because they are coming hydrophyte are those plants that grow in less water condition. That coming xerophytes. It is heavy plants. যে পানীত গজিছে বা কিছুমান plants যে অকল তোমাৰ waterless condition ত গজিছে কিহৰ কাৰণে they could survive because they can adapt themselves to the prevailing environmental condition, right? And adaptation is something that is seen only in case of living beings, right? Next is evolution. Evolution class 12 or pura lesson try essence, right? We know that life has started from something and now we have something, no? We have various theories of evolution also. And finally death, right? So ekhini points of basic explain koribo nai. However, ekhini point ami bhalke koribo লাগিব. Characteristics of living from the NCERT book when we will be studying about this point. Aruruka word ahead. Characteristics of living. NCERT book or mote ami keda characteristic pori pasta. Before studying that, we have to study a word called as defining or not defining. Here are questions ke liye hai. Questions hai: is growth a defining character of living? Ethi ami kom paise that growth is not a defining characteristic of living. It's a point here. Here defining no more will be explaining, but as of now we understand growth is not a defining character. Reproduction is also not a defining character. Question ahead: is cellular organization a defining character? No, non-defining character. It's a defining character, right? Think that is consciousness defining the non-defining. So, ek is unable to non-defining, theta defining. First one. Second is what is the meaning of defining and non-defining? যিকোনো এটা characteristic যেটি এটা organism define কৰিব পাৰে. For example, growthৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত if you can say that এটা particular organism X he grows X এ grow কৰিছে সেইকাৰণে X living এনেকৈ যদি ক'ব পাৰা তেতিয়া তাক আমি কি বুলি কম defining. বস্তুটো বুজি পাইছা নাই? Defining মানে কি you have to define an organism. যিকোনো এটা বস্তুৰ যদি গ্ৰোথ হয় এই বস্তুটোক আমি কি বুলি কনসিডাৰ কৰিব পাৰি লিভিং বুলি যদি কনসিডাৰ কৰিব পাৰো তেতিয়া তাক আমি কি বুলি কম ডিফাইনিং ইয়াতে কিন্তু আমি কি লিখিছো non defining. First you have to understand the meaning of defining and non defining. Defining and non defining, you define the organism a characteristic to থাকিলে লিভিং এ হ'ব তেনেকৈ যদি ক'ব পাৰা তেতিয়াহলে ডিফাইনিং হ'ব a characteristic to living অটো দেখা পাইছে non living অটো দেখা পাইছে তেতিয়াহলে non defining. Is the point here, right? Okay, so out of this growth and reproduction not defining, we'll start with the first one, growth. Okay. এইটো নহয় যে গ্ৰোথ হ'ল বুলিলেই লিভিং অৰ্গেনিজমছ বুলি ক'ব পাৰি ফাৰ্ষ্ট তো ইন জেনেৰেল আমি লিভিং আৰু নন লিভিঙৰ যেতিয়া ডিফাৰেঞ্চ কৰোঁ উই আণ্ডাৰষ্টেণ্ড দ্য লিভিং থিংছ গ্ৰ' জেনেৰেলি উই থিংক দ্য নন লিভিং থিংছ ডু নট গ্ৰ' এডাল পেঞ্চিল আছে হাতত পেঞ্চিলডাল গ্ৰ' কৰিব নেকি অভিয়াছলি নকৰে বাট দেৰ আৰ চাৰ্টেন এক্সেপশ্যনছ there are certain examples of non-living things that also grow. Shanani? I think you have heard about something called as a rock growing, a mountain growing, right? Balir dome eta ase, Balir dome to jiman side asile, kedinara pisot basic e dekha paisa. E basic e dekha potu e growth nohoy jano. What is growth? Increase, right? So it is not necessary that this could be seen only in case of living beings. Non-living things also grow, and that is the reason why it is not considered as a defining character. Is the point clear? Right? So growth is a characteristic of, normally I mean growth is a characteristic of living. কিন্তু defining character নহয় কিয় নহয় কাৰণ non-living things sort of growth দেখা পাওঁ yeah so we'll be starting with the first characteristic that is growth. In a growth কি হয় How can you define growth? Growth is nothing but a reaction. কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ reaction? Irreversible reaction. এবাৰ growth হৈ যোৱাৰ পিছত আকৌ negative হ'ব পাৰে নেকি? নোৱাৰে. So it is a type of reaction that is irreversible. It is something that is permanent. I think these two words are clear now. Right? What is growth? Growth is a reaction. What type of a reaction? Irreversible and a permanent reaction. Right? কিবা এটা বেছি হৈছে right বেছি হোৱাকে আমি কি বুলি কওঁ growth বুলি কওঁ so this increase could be in terms of mass it could be in terms of number also এটা আসলে এটা দুটা হৈ গ'ল দুটা আসলে এটা চাৰিটা হৈ গ'ল এই যে বেছি হৈছে বেছিটো আমি কি বুলি কওঁ growth বুলি কওঁ and similarly if we are talking about mass to আমি জানো mass কি হয় nothing but weight right body weight to সৰু আসলে ধৰা এটা 5 kg কালি যদি জুখিছো যদি 10 kg হৈছে then we can say that the organism is growing. So we have a word that is called as twin characters of growth, right? Here the question I what is considered as the twin characters of growth? And when we are using the word twin, what we understand is that Vita has the same meaning, right? Increase in mass mane growth, increase in number mane growth. Vita eki holle nai. Eki howa bostu ki ami twin kon nako. So this is something that you have to remember, right? Next, যিকোনো এটা বস্তুৰ গ্ৰ' হৈছে বুলি ক'লে আমি কি জানো that the weight has to increase and if you're talking about weight দুটা type of weight one is called as the fresh weight the other is called as the dry weight right বস্তুটো গ্ৰ' হৈছে নাই তুমি জুখি চাব লাগিব ন so যদি সৰু বস্তু হয় তেতিয়া তুমি জুখি চাবা think about a big or a huge tree সেই ট্ৰীডাল গ্ৰ' কৰিছে নাই you cannot be uprooting the tree and weighing down so in that case কি কৰিবা take an example of a mango tree mango tree da আজি ধৰা তুমি আজি ষ্টাডি কৰিছা 5 বছৰৰ পিছত আকৌ ষ্টাডি কৰিছা so obviously growth হৈছে বুলি কেনেকৈ গম পাবা size to bar it's by through your eyes that you will see or you'll measure the size right apart from that you can also take the dry weight means what you will collect the leaves right আজি মই ষ্টাডি কৰিছো এটা particular tree that যিমানটো leaves আছে আমি এইখিনি dry কৰি পেলাই weight কৰিছো right after 5 years we are repeating the same jimantu leaves ase dry korisu weight korisu obviously the weight will increase because the number of leaves will also increase within this time period right so we can study about growth by studying the dry weight we can study about growth by studying the fresh weight or mass and also about the number of individuals especially this is a sentence that goes for unicellular organisms right so when we talk about growth kar hoy living organisms are right living organism generally when we talk about in terms of cell I think you have heard something called as unicellular and multicellular if I ask you the question unicellular organisms grow kore and multicellular organisms grow kore unicellular organisms grow kore unicellular organisms bilaku living e hoy jeni living hoy grow to koriboi lagibo so unicellular grow kore ne multicellular grow kore duitai grow kore right which one is more easily noticeable it's obviously the multicellular growth is more easily noticeable ami grow koriso we are multicellular organisms give me one example of a unicellular organism amoeba bacteria that grow kore kintu kore mane does that mean the growth of multicellular and unicellular is the same eta multicellular organism jodi grow kore think about the baby growing right apni kono damor adult hobo right child hobo adult hobo mature hobo etc you know how does the unicellular organisms grow bacteria that grow korise does that mean will keep on changing its shape adi kono hoise kali bacteria iman damor hobo kali bole iman damor hobo kenekwa no so the growth in case of unicellular and multicellular is different in case of unicellular growth mane ki nothing but cell division here bacteria originally eta asile cell divide kori bela keta form kore duta tarsa keta form kore sarita etar pore je duta hol dutar pore je sarita hol this could be considered as growth in case of the unicellular organisms and this is what we are talking about this one here so number of individuals is taken as a factor for growth in which type of organisms unicellular organisms here okay next again coming to this point growth is a result of the difference between anabolism and catabolism as we have started with this now ami ki koisilo growth eta ki hoy reaction right whenever we talk about reaction kisman words we understand reversible reaction irreversible reaction anabolic reaction catabolic reaction etc right growth jodi eta reaction hoy kinekor reaction anabolic catabolic reversible irreversible etla ami porilo coming to this anabolic or catabolic janoni meaning to kuntu reaction on ami anabolic reaction ko or kuntu reaction on ami catabolic reaction ko jikono eta reaction or if something is being produced it is called as anabolic if something is getting broken down it is called as catabolic and the basic example that we speak about is photosynthesis or respiration right photosynthesis ki hoy anabolic kan food prepare hoy respiration ki hoy food to bhangi jay bhangi jor reaction to ami ki boli catabolism so eta body bitorot ba eta body growth hobo lagile ki sabo lagibo ami anabolism kiman ase catabolism kiman ase organism tor jodi bhalke growth hobo jodi eta organism bhalke grow kori ase tetia hole anabolism beshi hobo ne catabolism beshi hobo obviously anabolism beshi hobo so good growth is a result of more of anabolic reaction as compared to the catabolic if in a organism catabolic reaction jodi beshi hoy tetia hole ki hobo will have a word called as negative growth is point understood growth hobo lagile anabolic reaction beshi hobo libo catabolic jodi beshi hoy tetia hole amar ki থাকিব negative growth negative growth or degrowth next sentence what we are writing is, we are writing the points about growth, right? এতিয়ালৈকে কি ডিফাইন কৰিলো যে গ্ৰোথ কি হয়, নাথিং বাট আ ৰিয়াকশন। কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ৰিয়াকশন? পাৰ্মানেন্ট ইৰিভাৰ্সিবল ৰিয়াকশন, ৰাইট? এনাবলিজম বেছি হলে গ্ৰোথ হ'ব নে ক্যাটাবলিজম? অবভিয়াসলি এনাবলিজম বেছি হলে গ্ৰোথ হ'ব। যদি ক্যাটাবলিজম বেছি হয় তেতিয়া নেগেটিভ গ্ৰোথ হ'ব, ৰাইট? দ্য নেক্সট পইণ্ট ইজ গ্ৰোথ ক'ত দেখা পাবা, ইউনিসেলুলাৰ নে মাল্টিসেলুলাৰ? ইন both the cases. What is growth in unicellular organisms? In unicellular organism, growth is nothing but cellulation. Is the point clear? So, eta bacteria grow korise, mane eta bacteria cell divide korile, eta par duta form korise. Next is, when we talk about unicellular organisms, for example, bacteria, jihe to living hoy, tahate to grow koriboi, tahate reproduce koribo nokore. Living organisms can reproduce kore, the bacteria reproduce koribo. Again, we have to compare reproduction in case of a unicellular organism, reproduction in case of a multicellular organism is different. When a multicellular organism reproduces, we have the reproductive structures, the formation of gametes, etc., etc. Right? In the unicellular organisms reproduce korise, bacteria reproduce korise. Tar mane ki? Again, cellulation. Are you understanding the point? Eta bacteria asle hi ki hole cell divide koribole ki form kore? Duta form kore. Ei process to ami growth buliyo kobo paru, reproduction buliyo kobo paru. So we have used a word called as synonymous. Synonymous mane ki? Same. Unicellular organism etar karone growth and reproduction is the same. Growth mane ki? Cell division. Reproduction kene kya hoy? Cell division. Is this point clear? Right? Next, eta word ki important asle synonymous. Etia ako duta point that is important, but two words that is important: exclusive or inclusive. Growth and reproduction are considered as exclusive events for higher organisms or for multicellular organisms. Growth and reproduction are inclusive events for unicellular. It is exclusive or inclusive mane ki? Ekdam simple way. Exclusive beleg beleg. Inclusive same. Unicellular organisms are kind growth or reproduction same. The kind of use also inclusive. Multicellular organisms are kind growth or reproduction beleg beleg. The kind of use also exclusive. So you cannot be remembering these words. Na ekene beleg beleg or question na hai. Question to ahibo inclusive ne exclusive. So it is the word for you. Next. Next, characters defining or non-defining we have to study. So as I have already said, question kiya hai, growth is considered as a defining characteristic of living, and non-defining. Next could be, why is growth considered as a non-defining character? Growth of defining character boli consider this reason. Because non-living things also grow, right? আমি এইটো ক'ব নোৱাৰো যে এটা পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ অৰ্গানিজম বা এটা পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ বস্তু তুমি ডিসকভাৰ কৰিলা, সেই পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ বস্তুটো x, right? x অফ তুমি কি দেখা পাইছা? growth. You cannot be saying যে growth হৈছে কাৰণে ই লিভিং হ'ব লাগিব, কি নন লিভিং হ'ব পাৰে, right? যেহেতু দুইটাকে দেখা পাও, so it is called as a non-living, sorry, non-defining. So non-living things grow করে, example কি? Growth of a mountain, growth of a rock, etc. etc. এইখিনিতে যিমান পইণ্টছ লিখিলা বুজি পালা নাই, right? So sentences লিখোতে বহুত বিজি হৈছে, কিন্তু what you do, develop the habit of writing a short note, right? যিখিনি পইণ্টছ মই টিক কৰিছো ন, তাৰে এখন short note বনাবা, main note খনত attach কৰি দিবা. What will be the advantage? Last moment preparation on, you should not be reading each and every sentence. Sentence like pori lav nai na, point dita korile hoi jabo, right? Okay, so this is clear. So ultimately the first characteristic of growth is, or sorry, first characteristic of living is growth. Defining and non defining, non defining. Next, when we are talking about growth, are you going words associated with it? Growth could be of two types. One is intrinsic growth, the other is extrinsic. Intrinsic growth means internal growth, it is called as intrinsic. Or extrinsic, external growth, no? So if the substance is growing from inside, that is called as intrinsic. If a substance is growing from outside, that is called as extrinsic. Remember, I have given an example of a heap of sand, right? Bali dome eta ase, Bali dome to, kenimala bisab dekhisa je Bali dome to dangor hoye gise mane ki aru Bali kobar to ahi bela ta accumulate hoise. So extrinsic growth, we are talking about accumulation, right? Intrinsic growth from the cell level, cell ko thakibo, organism to bhitor thakibo. Next is yaha question kiya hai, the intrinsic growth word কি মনত ৰাখিম? Extrinsic, intrinsic, living organisms or কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ গ্ৰোথ আছে? Intrinsic, right? Non-living or কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ গ্ৰোথ দেখায়? Extrinsic, extrinsic especially by means of accumulation. জমা খাই খাই গ্ৰোথ হৈ যায়, right? এটা ইয়াৰ পৰা এটা question আহিছে. Question to hold, is growth a defining characteristic of living? No. Is intrinsic growth a defining characteristic of living? Mujhe paisa, so read the question properly, right? So point ki monot rakhibo lagibo. Growth নন ডিফাইনিং কিন্তু ইন্ট্ৰিনসিক গ্ৰোথ অকল লিভিং অৰ্গানিজমছতে দেখা পোৱা নন লিভিঙে ইন্ট্ৰিনসিক গ্ৰোথ শ্ব' কৰাই নেকি নকৰাই সেইকাৰণে তাক আমি কি বুলি কৈছোঁ defining only present in living beings, right? Okay. Next is there are another two terms associated with growth or types of growth. Intrinsic or extrinsic limited growth and unlimited growth or determinate growth and indeterminate growth. When we are talking about this, we know living organisms grow, and living organisms, if you classify into two categories, plants and animals, plants will grow for it, animals will grow for it. Correct? In a duitare growth too, what is the point of difference? Animals at a particular time or grow for it. Right? If the plants throughout their lifetime, they will keep on growing. Right? So what is the type of growth that is seen in case of plants? Indeterminate or unlimited. What is the type of growth that is seen in case of animals? Limited. Is the point understood? Right? Next. As I said, plants বিলাকে কি দেখাবো আনলিমিটেড গ্রোথ দেখাবো ন যদি এটা যিকোনো এটা অর্গানিজম আনলিমিটেড বাট লিমিটলেসলি যদি গ্রো কৰি আছে তেতিয়াহ'লে ই সদায় ডাঙৰ হৈ গৈ থাকিব নাথাকে যিমান বছৰ পাৰ হয় আজি ধৰা 5 বছৰৰ পিছত ষ্টাডি কৰিছে একেডাল প্লান্ট তুমি 10 বছৰৰ পিছত ষ্টাডি কৰা ইফ হি ইজ কিপিং অন গ্ৰোইং তো অবভিয়াসলি সাইজ টু ইনক্ৰিজ হৈ থাকিব সো ইন আদাৰ ৱে ৰাউণ্ড আমি কি কৈছো যে লিমিটেড গ্ৰোথ ইন এনিমেলস ওকে কিন্তু when we are talking about plants are depending on the part of a plant we have to decide whether limited or unlimited. As I said, adult plant সদায় grow কৰি থাকিব সদায় grow কৰি থাকিলে তাৰ size টো সদায় ডাঙৰ হৈ গৈ থাকিব think about a plant and then, or think about a mango tree ডালত এটা mango লাগি আছে যিমান বছৰ পাৰ হৈ যায় mango টো কি ডাঙৰ হৈ গৈ থাকিব নেকি mango to or coconut was upon one, at a specific size they have one. So similarly in any case of any type of a fruit, any type of a flower, they will always have a definite growth. Is the point here? Plants generally unlimited growth. But which part are we talking about? We are talking about the shoot apex and the root apex. Is the point here? So depending on parts of a plant, যদি shoot apex হয় root apex হয় তাহলে কি গ্রোথ দেখাবো আনলিমিটেড যদি লিভস হয় ফ্লাওয়ার্স হয় ফ্রুটস হয় তেতিয়াহলে কি দেখাবো লিমিটেড যেনেকে ম্যাঙ্গো প্লান্টৰ আকৌ ইফ ইউ কাম টু দ্য সেম এক্সাম্পল তাৰ লিভ সাইজ টু 10 বছৰ হৈছে কাৰণে একদম বিৰাট ডাঙৰ বানানা লিফৰ নিচিনা হৈ নাযায় ৰাইট If the question I have, plants say can growth dekhai. You cannot be writing this one. Plants will like unlimited but indeterminate growth dekhai. Animals say determinate but limited growth dekhai. It's a point here. In the specifically the part 2 of the question I have, leaves show that type of a growth. Leaves show indeterminate growth. Determinate growth. So this is all about the first characteristic that is growth. Keep our point to using that one. Pasta characteristic we have to discuss. The first one is growth. Growth ki hoy a reaction. If a reaction we have understood. Words associated, irreversible, permanent, anabolic, catabolic. Growth ketia hobo jete anabolism basic hobo. Catabolism basically hole ki hobo degrowth hobo, right? Next, twin characteristics of growth ki ase, that is very important question, right? Increase in mass and increase in number. When we are talking about increase in number in case of organisms, which organisms we are referring to? The unicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms are increase in number মানে growth নহয়. আজি এটা মানুহ আছে কাইলৈ দুটা মানুহ আছে তাৰমানে মানুহ grow কৰিছে তেনেকুৱা নহয়, right? কিন্তু bacteria যদি এটা bacteria আছে তো দুটা হৈছে, that is called as growth. I think the words are clear now. And the last question, defining and non-defining. Non-defining. Okay. Next we have reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction and definition di bole mudi. It is a formation of the same type of offspring is called as reproduction. No. First year of baru lihat তুমি লিখা হা বাকি এটাকে লিখিলেও হ'ব Just a simple definition about reproduction. Next question, why do organisms reproduce? To survive, right? To continue continuation of their species, right? So here to point to Milico, reproduce because next, in unicellular organisms, what is reproduction? Cell division is equal to reproduction, or you can say growth is equal to reproduction. You don't need to give me a second. Okay. Next is types of reproduction. How many types? Given types. Types of reproduction? Two types, no? Sexual and asexual. But we have something called as vegetative reproduction also. Vegetative reproduction falls under asexual reproduction. Okay, now talking about these two types of reproduction, there are so many points of differences between sexual and asexual, right? However, we are not going to discuss the point of difference in this class, right? Sexual reproduction, a chapter of class 12, the first chapter, no, sorry, the second chapter, right? So sexual reproduction in flowering plants, so Tata we into the details of it. Asexual reproduction also, it is somewhat covered during morphology. Morphology to us, our reproduction in organisms, the first chapter of class 12, that was it, right? So, into A2 chapter of key mention for us, the types of asexual reproduction, right? Okay, before going to the types, sexual or asexual or basic point of difference first,
Sexual or gametes.
Sexual reproduction gamete formation, right? Formation and fusion of gametes is a chief characteristic of sexual reproduction. You know, asexual reproduction of gamete formation, right? Second is the requirement of their parents. Parents or requirements. Heard about the word called as uniparental and biparental, right? Asexual reproduction of parents like one. So it is always uniparental. Sexual reproduction. Heard about something called as a hermaphrodite. Eta organism or duita gamete thakibo pare, duita sex thakibo pare, tar pisot sexual reproduction hobo pare. Example, R4. Right? So vice as well. Is asexual hobo lagile uniparental hobo lagile. You know, sexual hobo lagile it could be both uniparental and biparental. Is the point here? Okay. এইখিনি লিখিম জানো নালাগে ন পাৰিম বাৰু types of asexual reproduction কিমান টাইপস কৰিছা 5 টাইপস এটা অৰ্গানিজমে যদি sexually reproduce নকৰে কেনেকৈ reproduce কৰিব আকৌ the answer will come in regards to unicellular and multicellular unicellular organisms reproduces by bacteria এটা কেনেকৈ reproduce কৰে কি হ'ব এটা bacteria reproduce কৰে নকৰে কৰে so that type of reproduction is called as obviously asexual types asile no the most common type of reproduction in bacteria binary fission unisa no eta was unisa na binary fission budding right next is fragmentation regeneration ei gutebur ki hoy spore formation asexual right so asexual reproduction are types or pura ek chapter question hai baki hini nahi Okay, except the first year student, Maki Watson, spore formation is the most common type of reproduction in which group of organisms? Fungi, right? Is it only in fungi that you see spore formation? No, you see in bacteria also, you see in algae also, but it is common in fungi, right? Next, budding, yeast, or hydra. Fragmentation. Spirogyra hobo pare, Lotrix hobo pare. Kintu in general কোনবিলাক ফর্মসে ফ্র্যাগমেন্টেশন দেখাবো filamentous right So living order पर question on reproduction or examples खिनी आहे, right? The organism that reproduce by means of budding is Hydra, right? This all we poni. When we talk about budding, there could be external buds, there could be internal buds, etc., etc. Yeast, okay. So binary fission to idea আছে, tomorrow Sunday. জানো ন সো এটা অর্গানিজম আছে তার নিউক্লিয়াস আছে বা নিউক্লিয়ার মেটেরিয়াল কি হবে ডাম্বল শেপ লব আর সাইটোপ্লাজম সো দিস আনসার স্পোর ফর্মেশন স্পোরেঞ্জিয়াম এটা বা ব্যাগ এটা ফর্ম কৰিব তাৰ ভিতৰত স্পোৰস থাকিব ব্যাগ টু ডিসপার্স হ'ব স্পোৰস বিলাক ওলাই আহিব স্পোৰৰ পৰা জাৰ্মিনেট কৰিব budding best example we talk about yeast কি হয় ইউনিসেলুলার ফাঞ্জাই তাৰ কি হ'ব এটা পাৰ্ট এনেকে ডাঙৰকে হৈ যাব right আর তার নিউক্লিয়াস তো ডিভাইড কৰি পেলে এটা নিউক্লিয়াস ইয়ালে যাব লেটার এটু পার্ট কি হ'ব স্ন্যাপ অফ হৈ যাব ইয়াৰ পৰা নতুন yeast এটা হ'ব that is what is called as budding fragmentation is any filamentous form filamentous মানে thread like right so এই যিকোনো এটা পার্ট যদি কাটি যায় এটু পার্টৰ পৰা নতুন অৰ্গানিজম এটু পাৰ্টৰ পৰা নতুন অৰ্গানিজম right next is regeneration is each and every part producing a new organism however regeneration I mean is for reproduction of organisms or there could be two types of regeneration right regeneration best example যদি question আহে best example for that planaria or body animal বেলেগৰ নাহে কিন্তু can you just give me one example or common example of regeneration that you have seen planaria আমি দেখা না lizard or regeneration মানে কি এটা পার্ট কাটি যায় রাইট এতিয়া planaria কি হয় planaria এটা worm right so worm to যদি দুটা ভাগত snap off হৈ যায় বা ভাঙি যায় তেতিয়া হলে এটা পার্ট এনেকুৱা হ'ব এটা পার্ট এনেকুৱা হ'ব দুটা ভাঙি গ'ল ন তেতিয়া হলে কি হ'ব যে ইয়াৰ পাৰ্টৰ পৰা এটা নতুন অৰ্গানিজম ফৰ্ম কৰিলে এইটো পাৰ্টৰ পৰা give rise to two new individuals. That is seen in planaria. However, in lizard, this is not the scenario. Lizard or কি হয় tailor snap off হয়ে যায় কিন্তু এই নেজডালৰ পৰা আৰু এটা lizard হয় নি নহয় so we'll be talking about two types of regeneration later in our class as of now regeneration of অকল planaria example টো মনত ৰাখিলে হৈ গ'ল আজি এই আমাৰ মনত আছে এপিমorphosis আৰু morphotaxis বুলি আমি দুটামান word পঢ়িছিলো ওকে এইখিনি হ'ল ইয়াৰ পৰা কি কৰিবা সদায় question এইখিনি ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট দেই মাৰ্ক কৰিবা এক্সাম্পলছ খিনি কৰিবা Next, we'll continue reproduction. Okay, a sentence. Reproduction is something that is seen only in living organisms. It is seen in non-living also. Only living. Jedi only living hoy, tetahle defining character kiyo nohoy, hetur upor question ahe. Right? Mo olop agate ki koisu. Jikono eta characteristic jedi okol living ok dekha pai. Tetahle etu defining hobo lagisile. Growth non-defining. Karon growth is something that is seen in both living and non-living. When we are talking about reproduction is also non-defining. You know why it is not defining? To me, etu kobo nora as a non-living things also grow, right? Hetu no hoy. The non-defining here because there are certain living things that do not reproduce. Human beings, কিছুমান to reproduce koribo nwaribo pare. Jedi he human being to reproduce koribo nware, taki ami non-living community. No. Another example could be a mule. Mule to isu. Horse and donkey together offspring to be produced for a mule reproduce koribo pare niki nware kintu he living hoy nohoy hoy so it is not considered as a defining character as I think it's understood, right? So important key growth hormone jenike amar bahut points of importance asile bahut kita bostu tik korisilu reproduction or okol duta bostu poriba first this sentence second the examples of asexual reproduction it's about here I think this is all for today as we shortly kore we'll continue the next class thank you